Scarlett Johansson's defense of her casting choices. Let's dissect the layered conversation about actors, casting, and representation. Scarlett Johansson finds herself encapsulated in the bubbling cauldron that is modern casting controversy. Her defense of the right to depict characters of various backgrounds, particularly transgender and Asian roles, in the wake of criticism, is both a focal point for ongoing debates and a chance to reflect on evolving perspectives in Hollywood. Now, Scott here, based out of Portland, Oregon, wants to approach this with the nuance it deserves. Firstly, let's give a nod to the core of acting. It's about transformation. For ages, the craft has been about convincing portrayals of someone you're fundamentally not. Otherwise, we would have nudged Daniel Day-Lewis aside for an actual 1800s oil man, right? Yet the conversation never really is just about acting. It's about industry patterns that limit opportunities for groups who are repeatedly sidelined. Critics argue that when roles representing marginalized communities become available, it's paramount they go to actors who share those experiences. Hence, the substantial backlash Johansson faced initially for Ghost in the Shell, and later for her casting as a transgender man in Rub and Tug. Consider the context, though. Hollywood got by on homogeneous casting for far too long, where characters of diverse backgrounds were rare. When they did crop up, they often were snagged by the already well-represented majority. Look no further than Mickey Rooney's portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi in Breakfast at Tiffany's. And while, yes, that cinematic world is thankfully behind us, the echoes remain within casting rooms. While Scarlett's comments struck a dissonant chord with many advocacy groups and individuals advocating for greater inclusivity in film, the heart of her argument isn't without merit. A creative should embody any role. She later clarified her statements, noting the importance of social responsibility and sensitivity. But let's not drift too far on the tides of this debate without anchoring on progress. Change is afoot. The uproar and conversations stemming from her roles signal an audience that's more aware and demanding of representation. It means people are watching and will hold studios accountable. In the light of these shifts, it's less about one actor's viewpoint and more about the broader picture, paving the way for everybody to tell their stories. For someone like me, living in Portland, an area with its share of cultural conversations, it's clear the dialogue isn't just noise. It's part of a meaningful change that's larger than Hollywood. Now back to Johansson's case, understanding it as reflective of her broader views on acting, and with the follow-up she offered. We see a blend of an actor's idealism about the universality of their craft and the stark realism of an industry that's playing catch-up with social justice. So there's weight in acknowledging an actor's capability to explore a wide range of characters. Yet, the scales tip towards a critical need for authentic representation, not only in casting but in storytelling, production, and direction. Therein lies the crux. This issue doesn't have an easy, one-size-fits-all answer. What's undeniable is the momentum pushing Hollywood to a tipping point. We're witnessing a recalibration of who gets to tell which stories and how. So, while Scarlett Johansson defending her casting picks uncovers tension and dialogue, it also highlights a burgeoning collective consciousness. And that, my friends, holds more promise for the industry's evolution than any single casting decision ever could.